I feel like you guys have seen it all over the news, all over the internet. Ruby Franke? I thought it was Ruby Frank. Apparently it's Ruby Franke. Ruby Franke, the mom. I hate calling people like this mothers. I don't know. It's just hard for me. The human being from the YouTube channel 8 Passengers was recently arrested on child abuse allegations after her younger son climbed out of her business partner's home, ran to a neighbor's house, and begged for food and water. He later said that his sister was also duct taped and tied up in the house of, once again, let me remind you, Ruby Franke's business partner. Now, if you missed me talking about this a little before, they've got a funny little history. First of all, Ruby and Jody, her business partner, they have this like podcast or like lifestyle company called Connections with an X. It's the worst name ever. They have this brand, it's called Connections, where they give people life advice. Now, my take or spin on this is I just think it's comical because Jody was under investigation 10 years ago after somebody from the church went to her for couples counseling, and she then accused the man in the relationship of having a porn obsession and that he was the sole reason for the marriage's dissolution or their issues, and he needed to repent and all of this. And not only did Jody stop there, but she then went to the pastors within the church and told them that the man had a porn addiction, which was just very, very taboo. So essentially, she was gossiping about her client to a body of people that he was very close to, the congregation. So Jody got investigated. She had her license temporarily suspended, and then it was reinstated. That's a little bit of history on Jody. And, Jody decided, I'm going to go and do this thing with this YouTube lady where we give other people life advice. So Jody's credentials are, personally, I don't really trust her. And then Ruby Franke, her children were starved in her business partner's house. And here's the thing too, Ruby was not home on the day that the children escaped, but she was there the day prior, filming an episode with her partner Jody. So these people are just huge pieces of shit, but the judge recently announced that they would not be excused on bail. Let's take a look at what happened inside of the courtroom. Dun dun dun!
Afternoon, Mr. Winward, how are you?
Very good.
Dude.
So you represent Miss Franke.
This has to be one of the most pissed off people I've ever seen in a court appearance. Wow.
My understanding is Miss Franke's being held on a no bail hold at this point. She's going to remain on a no bail hold for the time being. What would you like me to do with the case, Mr. Winward, at this point?
Your Honor, we anticipate filing a motion in Judge Walton's court for the bail hearing forthwith. The court wants to conclude the initial appearance. We're fine with that.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is set this on Judge Walton's law and motion calendar a week from this coming Thursday.
Ooh, wait a minute. Are we about to see the court TV anchors roast Ruby Franke? I was about to move on to the next thing, but hold on. We saw what they said about Lori Vallow. Give it to me.
One thing I want to help explain to the viewers, and you're the perfect person given your expertise as a defense witness. You heard the attorney for the defendant
I wasn't a witness,
say,
I was actually an attorney. But that's
Did I say?
Can I just say that they would have a much stronger headline here if it's not just family YouTuber charged with abuse. Family YouTuber charged with child abuse. She was exploiting her family, which was abusive in the first place, running her family like a bunch of little actors where she's the manager and just making them do stuff that they didn't want to do or punishing them on camera, and then running a family channel off of it and abusing the children. It's crazy. It's actually crazy.
Semantics. Those are semantics. Don't worry.
Welcome to our show.
I've never quite been a defense witness in any case.
I can't believe I said that word. Thank you.
Okay.
Obviously, a defense attorney.
Yes.
So,
I thought y'all were gonna roast
why
them.
might you choose to waive reading? We heard her attorney say we're going to waive reading.
Yeah, ultimately, that's just the reading of the charges against you, and it's sort of a formality that goes on in the court. Especially if it's being aired, you may not want them read out into the public. So that would be my thought. It's also expediency sometimes. It's not necessary. Let's move on to the matters at hand. I've got 7 other cases I got to deal with. So it could be any number of things.
You know what's really questioning me, and it's something that you brought up earlier, is where's dad in all of this? How does this even get past a father? It's either the children didn't trust him to let him know something was going on. He didn't care. I mean, when you find a hole and you can't fill that hole with information, it makes you really want to find an answer.
You know, it's so interesting. I really love her tone when she raised this point because she seemed genuinely curious and disappointed. And that like means so much to me when I'm looking at people talking about true crime cases because like it seems like she like gives a shit. She's like, where is the dad? Because she doesn't know that much about this YouTube world. She doesn't know that much about this family. If like, you know, some of us, we've been seeing them get in trouble for years. And like, we kind of know, well, yeah, dad was there. He watched Ruby be a piece of shit. He was in a lot of the videos. But this lady is like, how did this happen? And I appreciate that. I like that.
You really want to find an answer. And I noted that he said he paid for college educations. That's great. That's check one. However, he never said anything about spending time with them or seeing them. So maybe there were circumstances where he wasn't seeing the children. We don't know.
You know what's interesting is there are a lot of fathers out there who think that is the role of a father, is to provide.
Yes.
I got you. I put you in a house. You have a television.
Yo,
you have money to go to school. You're taken care of. That's my job. You know, I'm out here doing that while mom is doing that. I'm not saying that's who this guy was, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm saying there are a lot of fathers who think
That's a great point. That is a really great point. I want to listen together because in addition to the father, some of us might say, what about the family? Where's the family in all of this? Well, the sister spoke out on TikTok. Let's listen to that.
Oh my God. Give it to us.
I don't think any of us could have ever seen this coming. We all did as much as we could legally, and you don't know what you don't know. I do feel a little bit numb at this point. The only thing that we ultimately care about is that our nieces and nephews are safe, and they are.
This kind of environment causes people to, let's just say, step in greater extremes in what they do to increase their following. Well,
Yeah,
what do I do to get more clicks? How do I get more people to subscribe? How do I get more people watching? And it usually means you've got to push an envelope somewhere. And we saw that in New York with the crowds that came from that TikTok influencer. And so I have to wonder how much of this social media environment maybe drove her to a behavior that she would not have received if she wasn't getting her affirmation from.
I get what she's trying to say, like, but I think Ruby Franke was like just this way. I think she viewed the children as a possession to the point that she was willing to exploit them and abuse them because they weren't doing what she wanted, and then she just got away with it for so long. Like now she's here. But I don't think that it was all social media. It's like you have to have that in you to do that to a child.
Yeah, no question. I mean, that's the dystopian view of social media. We see it there's a show, Black Mirror, that kind of takes these things to its logical conclusion.
I like how he said Black Mirror, like it was like this super underground show.